Here we have an engine block from a Yamaha 225 horsepower OX66. It appears something came loose. Don't know what happened first. And the bottom two cylinders, number 6 on the left and number 5 on the right, and knocked holes in the real thin aluminum section that separates the two cylinders. These engine blocks are hard to find. Every one that we have found has been in the same condition with holes in these particular spots. And since we cannot find one, we will keep looking, but since we cannot find one, what we're going to do is we're going to try to repair these holes with JBWeld. Since they are on the bottom side of the piston in the crankshaft area, there should be very little pressure vacuum on them, and hopefully they will hold. If they do not hold, we have not lost anything, because the engine is unusable as it is. I will update as I go along. Thank you. Okay, now I have cleaned the cylinders with a degreaser and rubbing alcohol, trying to get them just as oil free as I can. I have cut strips of plastic coated cardboard and pushed them in from the back side where I've got these grooves and got them nice and tight, because I think once I get the JBWeld in, it will be easy to remove the cardboard. Some of it may stick, but cleaning it off shouldn't be much of a problem. So now I'm going to flip it over and prepare for the JBWeld. Trying to shine my flashlight in there so you can get an idea of the epoxy, but I put the epoxy in and let it harden. Of course, I got to now go in and clean it up, get me a Dremel tool and kind of clean out that little groove. This is the epoxy that I used, JBWeld. Like I said before, this block is basically toast unless I try this. If it works, great. If it don't, great. But really what gave me the inspiration is I seen a video on YouTube of a man who made a Briggs & Stratton small engine complete head out of JBWeld. Now he made it about 1 inch thick, but he mounted it on the I believe it was a tiller, and he fired it up and ran it for a minute. It would have ran longer, but he cut it off. I would have liked to have seen just how long it would last, but it did work. It held compression and it lasted a complete minute. So that's what gives me the confidence to try this. Once I get it cleaned up a little bit, I'll show you some more. Okay, I am not a machinist, but I have used these enough that I can do decent. But I'm fixing to mark my journals. These are the two that were damaged, and you can see I'm at 15954.5. This is the other one that was damaged, or the cylinder that was damaged. I don't know if the journals were or not. Got the same thing. So now I'll move to the top two, number 1 and number 2, which didn't have any problem whatsoever. And if this thing will focus, you can see it measures the exact same thing. So that tells me that my crankshaft is okay. The journals did not get worn out. Okay, here we are. I've got the JBWeld in. Of course, this is on the crankshaft side. And here's the other one. I'll wipe it for you. It's a little bit greasy. What I've done is I smeared grease on it while I had the crankshaft in it to check and make sure I was not dragging any. Lost with the camera. It is very hard to get in here and get these things perfectly smooth. You have to do it with one finger, unless you're somebody who has a lot of specialized sanding bits. Now I'll flip the engine over and let you see the cylinder side. Okay, here's number 6 cylinder. See the JBWeld is on the top side, and yeah, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna say that is not smooth, and I'm gonna agree with you. If you've got the right equipment to get in there and sand it smooth, more power to you. I have my 2 fingers sticking it in through the bottom side and trying to get it smooth. And actually I've ended up with it a little bit thicker than what was original. And you know, I decided that might be better since they had aluminum and I'm using JBWeld. But yes, it's going to create some turbulence on the intake side. And once we get it fired up and see if this does hold, we will probably increase the fuel flow to number 6 and number 5 cylinders to make up for this turbulence. Now I'll move over to number 5. I don't know if it's better with the flashlight or without. But it appears to seal it off. It appears to be very solid. It's going to be one of them things that we'll have to wait and see. And while I'm at it, let me tell you, while I was kind of cleaning out the cylinder ports, I noticed that hole there in the top of number 1 cylinder. And at first glance, it kind of scared me. But now I see that it goes to the O2 sensor. So when you're thinking about your O2 sensor and what it's reading, it's really just reading from that number 1 port. So if you've got a problem with the injector on it, it's going to control the whole engine. But I just thought I'd show that to you. Well, this is going to be the first start since we put the epoxy on. Whoa, what are you doing? Don't get carried away. Yeah, I threw a lot of extra oil in it for break-in. I'm not sure it sounds like it's firing real good, but it's still in neutral. Do not have an hour meter, so I have installed one so I can get some idea of how long it lasts. As I mentioned earlier, the number 6 cylinder is the one we have all the trouble with. It seems like most of the other motors we found to have it. And I wanted to increase the volume of the fuel injector to make up for that link condition. Shows how much I know about fuel injectors. They are made for a set amount and are not adjustable. They can get clogged up and dirty and put out less, but there's no way to make them put out more. So now I'm trying to find somebody who can tell me what injector I can use on that one cylinder that maybe puts out about 10% more. But that's probably not important at the moment till we find out whether or not this is going to work. We got enough oil in it. We'll kill a few mosquitoes around here. We done a compression check before we left home, and we were 120 to 128. And the two bottom ones that we have the JBWeld in were the 120. Not that it has anything to do with it, but it might. Oh, can you even see? All this smoke and the sun coming up at the same time. I've asked him not to blow it up the first time out, but I don't know if it's got a problem or he's just being easy on it like I asked him. And I'm glad I didn't ride with him. Well, we just got back from the river. We probably ran it. We're estimating 50 miles. Yeah, went through one full tank of gas, 27 gallons. Of course, with these motors, that might not be that much. Yesterday, I told you I was going to put I was going to put an hour meter on it, but I actually let it idle in the little pond out here for 2 times at 30 minutes each, and then I put the hour meter on it. So now we've got, on the hour meter, we got 1.9 hours, and that's most of it at 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, and I actually got it up to 65 miles an hour. So still, now we got 2 hours on it. We'll wait till we get 8 to 10 to say it's a real success. But so far, I'm pretty pleased.